Belief in the stars is actually one of the biggest fitnas of this day, subhanallah. It's in a narration of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, who is the cousin of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's narrations in Al-Haytami and Kitab al-Fitan. It's from a longer narration, and it mentions from the middle, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, "Where's the one who asked me about the hour?" Because a person came to him earlier and he told him to wait. This was after the Fajr Salah. And after the Prophet ﷺ, he praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he called him over and he says that I am the one that asked you, the one who the Prophet ﷺ called over. And the Prophet ﷺ says that the hour will come when leaders are oppressors. And subhanallah, this hadith is mentioned many qualities, and the leaders as oppressors is mentioned throughout hadith literature. And these oppressors are not just to be only on the west aspect of it, right? When the election went forward, many people started passing around different types of pictures and images talking about leaders being oppressors, or the power going into the hands of those people who do not deserve it, or the lesser of the community are the ones in power, so on and so forth. This is talking about an overall aspect of it. We've been having oppressors and tyrants in the Muslim world for many generations. And we see that this tyranny is expanding left and right, not just concentrating in the Middle East. So you'll find tyranny in the East, in the South, in the North, and especially in the West. This is just another example of which. And then there are other places that have been having tyrants for a very long time, whether tyranny within their own nation or tyranny over other nations. But that's for another discussion, inshallah. Then the Prophet ﷺ says, when people believe in the stars and reject al-qadr, this is the main thing. The main portion of this is that when people start believing stars and reject qadr, today we have a very big issue with horoscopes. Everyone has a sign that they're born underneath. Everyone has a year with an animal attributed to it, and they read the horoscopes religiously. This is just as similar as going to a psychic and asking the psychic for some type of advice, that if you take it from it, this is a type of shirk, and then that if you believe in it, this is kufr, you leave the fold of Islam, right? This is a very big deal. And so people, they go to these horoscopes, right, because it's pretty much looking at the stars and looking at the sky, and they believe it wholeheartedly. Or they open up a fortune cookie and they'll believe this wholeheartedly, and this falls all under believing in the stars. But when you mention destiny to them, and when you mention that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made certain things in their decree, they start rejecting it outright. Or they say, oh, I don't know about destiny, and they have complications accepting it and understanding it, while these things that are outrageous, such as believing in the stars, they take wholeheartedly. Then the Prophet ﷺ says, when a trust becomes a way of making a profit, this would be putting your money in a bank. This is also a type of trust, and they make money on top of your money. And then when people give to charity, sadaqah, reluctantly, that the people don't want to give charity very happily anymore. When adultery becomes widespread, again something that's very common in the end of times literature. And when this happens, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, then your people will perish, that there will be destruction upon you, that you will be wiped off from the face of the earth. That this is a sign of the Qiyamah coming. So just to mention again, these signs the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam are mentioning are saying that when these minor signs, these lesser signs become more apparent, then expect the day of judgment to be right around the corner. وصلى الله على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم عليه.